In the heart of an ancient African forest, where sunlight filters through the towering trees and the air hums with magic, a golden jar rested atop the tallest tree. This was no ordinary jar. It held the wisdom of the entire world. And today, we're diving into the story of how one mischievous spider, Anansi, tried to claim it all. Anansi was no ordinary spider. Oh no, he was clever, sly, and always scheming. If there was a way to get ahead, you could bet Anansi would find it. And when he learned that the gods had locked away all the wisdom of the world, Anansi decided he would make it his own. With determination in his many eyes and a plan in his clever mind, Anansi spun a shimmering thread and began his climb to the heavens. Up, up he went, his silk glistening in the golden light, until he finally reached the gods themselves. The gods, amused by his boldness, handed him the jar of wisdom. It was heavy, glowing, and alive with energy. Anansi clutched it tightly, his many legs trembling with excitement. With this, he thought, I will be the wisest of them all. But the gods exchanged knowing glances. They had a feeling this would be fun to watch. Far above the clouds, the gods watched as Anansi scurried back to earth. They smiled and whispered, "Let's see how far his greed will take him." Their laughter echoed softly across the skies as the mischievous spider descended with his precious jar. Back in the forest, Anansi knew he had to hide the jar where no one could reach it. He spotted the tallest tree and began climbing, the jar strapped tightly to his belly. But with every step, the jar swung awkwardly, knocking against branches and nearly tipping him over. From below, a small voice called out, "Father, what are you doing?" It was Anansi's son, Ntakuma, watching his father struggle. "Go away," Anansi snapped, but Ntakuma didn't leave. Instead, he said something that stopped Anansi in his tracks. "Why don't you tie the jar to your back? It'll be easier to climb." Anansi froze, realizing the boy was right. His son, his child, had solved a problem that all the wisdom in the world couldn't help him figure out. Furious, he swung his arms in frustration, and that's when it happened. The jar slipped from his grip and began to fall. Down it tumbled, glowing brighter with each second, until it shattered against the forest floor. Streams of golden light poured out, swirling and dancing in the air. The wisdom Anansi had hoarded spread far and wide, touching every corner of the world. The light flowed like rivers, spreading across the land. Animals, plants, and people alike were touched by its glow. Knowledge and understanding filled the world, and life itself seemed to shine brighter than ever before. High above, the gods laughed. "Wisdom belongs to everyone," they said, "not just one greedy spider." Their voices echoed through the heavens as they watched the world change before their eyes. Anansi, meanwhile, sat sulking in the tree. He had lost the jar, lost his plan, and learned a harsh lesson. Wisdom, it seemed, was not something to be hoarded, but something to be shared. Eventually, Anansi climbed down and sat beside Ntakuma. Together, they watched the streams of light spreading across the forest. Anansi, humbled, turned to his son and said, "Perhaps I don't know everything after all." And so, the wisdom of the world found its place in the hearts of all living things. And Anansi, the clever trickster, became the unwitting hero of the story. Remember, my friends, sometimes we gain the most when we let go of what we're clinging to. Thank you for joining me on this magical journey. If you enjoyed this tale of Anansi and the Jar of Wisdom, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Starlit Tales for more stories from around the world. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep learning, and keep sharing your wisdom.